Hello students, again I welcome you all for my next video, and today in this video I'm going to explain Class 11 chapter Browning version written by Terence Retigan. Before starting with the chapter, let's talk about the author Terence Retigan. Terence Retigan was born on June 10, 1911 in London, England. His father, William, was a career diplomat and served in countries such as Turkey and Romania. While his parents lived abroad, Terence and his brother were raised by their grandparents in England. Retigan was about 11 years old when his parents returned. By that time, he had fallen in love with reading and going to plays. He wrote his first play about the age of 10. Retigan was educated at the Harrow School from 1925 until 1930. When he entered Trinity College, Oxford, his experiences at the former, a public school, informed such a place as the Browning version, although Retigan gave means was training for the diplomatic corps. By the time he reached Oxford, his interest was focused on the stage. Now students, let's start with the introduction of the chapter. This chapter is a short extract from the play, the Browning version, written by Terence Retigan. It is a one-act play set in a school. There are three characters in the play: Taplow, Frank, and Mr. Crocker Harris. Taplow is 16 years old student, Frank is a young teacher, and Mr. Crocker Harris is a middle-aged school master. Taplow has arrived in the school to do extra work for Mr. Crocker Harris. He meets Frank and they both engage in a conversation while Taplow waits for Mr. Harris. Later enters Millie, Mr. Crocker Harris, who talks to Taplow. Plot construction of the chapter. Andrew Crocker Harris is a classic teacher at an English boys' school. After 18 years of teaching there, today is his last day before moving on to a position at another school. The students speculate on why he is leaving but do not much care, since despite being academically brilliant, he is generally despised as being strict, stern, and humorless. They have nicknamed him the Croc. Even the school administrator treats him poorly regardless of his long tenure. Millie Crocker Harris, his wife, is younger and vivacious and quite different from her husband. She no longer loves him but rather loves Frank Hunter, another teacher, yet despite having an affair with him, she knows he is not in love with her. On this last day, one student named Taplow, who does not hate Crocker Harris but feels sorry for him, gives him a small going away gift, a copy of the translation by Robert Browning of Aeschylus' ancient play Agamemnon. The gift brings about a series of actions which make Crocker Harris reflect on his past, contemplate his future, and evaluate how he is going to finish his tenure at the school. Theme of the play. The Browning version is a case study in the lifetime of emotional repression. Andrew Crocker Harris has clearly taken the view in life that it is better to repress his emotions than to let them get the better of him. But the quiet sorrow that surrounds him suggests that this has been a grave error. Retigan contrasts this repressed state with Andrew's rare emotional outbursts, which are brought on primarily by a living gift he receives. Characters of the chapter. Andrew Crocker Harris. Andrew Crocker Harris is a protagonist of the play. He is a taciturn middle aged teacher of classics and has clearly had his spirit worn down over the years. Millie Crocker Harris. Millie is Andrew's younger wife who, over the year, has grown increasingly bitter towards her husband. She maintains an air of gracious civility with all who visits their apartment but treats Andrew with callous. John Taplow. Taplow is one of Andrew's classic students. He is the first character to appear in the play, summoned to the Crocker Harris flat to do extra work due to his absence from a lesson the previous week. Though Taplow is evidently intimidated by Andrew's stern demeanor, he expresses to Frank a respect and admiration for his departing teacher. Frank Hunter. In this dynamic young science teacher who is having an affair with Millie Crocker Harris, he is well liked by the pupils at the school but fears that his relation with them is too informal and friendly, undermining his efforts as an educator. Now, students, let's begin with the summary of the chapter. The scene is set in a school where Taplow arrives to do extra work on the last day for Mr. Crocker Harris as he missed a day before. He finds Frank, a science teacher, in the school. Frank asks him his name and the reason he is there that day. Taplow studied in the lower fifth standard and is about to get his result from his teacher, Mr. Harris. Mr. Crocker Harris usually reveals the result on the last day of school, and unlike every other teacher, he follows the rules and regulations strictly. They both started having a conversation where Frank asked him several questions. We don't see Mr. Crocker Harris in the whole chapter, but we get to know a lot about him. Taplow wants to take science as a remove because he finds the subject extremely interesting. Frank, on the other hand, doesn't like what he teaches in the school. Mr. Crocker Harris is hardly human, as he never shrivels up. He told Taplow that he will get what he deserves, nothing less and nothing more, and this makes him tensed. Taplow further imitates Mr. Harris twice in front of Frank. Frank admits that he envies Mr. Crocker Harris because of the effect he has on them. Taplow told him that he never shows the emotions like the teachers and never beats them up like other masters. He is not a sadist. As they were deeply engaged in a conversation, Millie enters and comes with a shopping bag. She asks Taplow to go out and come back in a quarter of an hour, as Mr. Crocker Harris will be late. If her husband arrives earlier, she will take the blame. She further gives him a prescription and instructs him to purchase medicines for her from the chemist. Taplow follows and goes away to do the job. So here we finishes with the video. Hope my video is all clear. Thank you so much for watching my video. Be safe, be healthy.